When you got to Liverpool, I just had Igor Biscan. I just had a conversation with him about this, and he had Rafa as a manager. What was your take on him? Because he can seem from the outside and from stories from other players very distant.
Yeah.
Very, very distant from players. And I'm not sure everybody kind of likes that because you're not sure where you stand with the manager.
Yeah, no, I think Rafa Benitez is a very special human being. I think a great manager. I've said often in other interviews that he, together with Louis van Gaal, although they are very separate, were my best managers I ever had. Of course, I had also Van Marwijk, who we managed to get in the final of the World Cup, who's also very special. But Rafa Benitez actually was a really warm person to me. And, you know, before I came to Liverpool, I had many conversations with him. He called me and he made me feel comfortable. And I had, from the first moment I spoke with him, the feeling that Liverpool would be the right choice for me. But also what was something really special for me is that after my first season with Liverpool, where we managed to come to the final of the Champions League, I managed to be the club top scorer of the season. I struggled the second year because my father passed away after the Champions League final. So in and off the pitch, I had a very difficult time. And that was also the first time in my career where I was really not playing well. And Rafa took me in his office and he said, listen, I'm going to take you out. Maybe it's going to be a couple of games. Maybe it's going to be a couple of weeks. Even it can be months. But as soon as you're feeling better, I take you back in the team and you don't have to worry about anything. Just make sure you handle the situation you're in. I give you all the time you need, but you are, for me, a key player for the future. So do your thing, what you need, and you will be there. And that was something very special because I struggled a lot. I knew I was not playing well, but I also knew that it's something to do with my father was passed away. But he supported me. And there were not many people who were supporting me at the time because also I was not in the squad of the national team. I was kicked out, but he was there for me. And then the first game he put me in was in the first 11 again was I think a couple of days before Inter Milan. And then I played the Inter Milan game and I scored the 2-0. The 1-0. Stevie G scored the 2-0. What was very important, I was back on track again. And that support he always gave me. So I can understand people feel a kind of distance because he always holds his cards very close to him. Also in making the team, he's never really open. We as the players always try to guess the first 11. We never get it right.
Never.
Because he always made, you know, some changes in his team. But that's the way he was working. And yeah, for me, it worked out quite well. And I think when we look back to Rafa's time at Liverpool, yeah, he was a very successful coach.
It's just funny because 24 hours ago, Manuel Petit was saying almost the exact same story, but about Arsene Wenger and how he just said they were on the way to a game. They were in Birmingham from London, and he said something's wrong. Put you on a flight, you go where you want to go.
Yeah.
You don't worry.
Yeah.
And then you come back when you're ready.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you've just said.
That was with Rafa. He could be, you know, very tough in his decisions. But the moments I needed him in my time at Liverpool, he was right there for me. And that means for a player everything. So, of course, when you play for Liverpool Football Club, you give everything for the team, for the supporters, for the club. But you also play in a kind of way for the manager. And that made me play, harder than ever for him.
Yeah. How was it with the Liverpool contingent when you got there? I mean, I know the Dutch tend to speak good English, so I'm going to presume you did already. But that accent... You know, it's a little bit tricky for someone who's not used to speaking English.
Yeah, it was... I was last week with Vladimir Smitser, and he said it took me 3 years to understand
3 years?
Stevie.
Oh.
But it's a funny kind of way, because in Dutch we speak with the ch as well. So, yeah, I understand them quite quick. And I always manage to talk with them separately, because the moment you are on the table drinking tea with Carragher and Stevie G and you're sitting next to them, yeah, you're lost in the conversation. So I think I was quite clever when I talked to the guys, and most of the time one-on-one. And yeah, I loved Liverpool, but I love the Scouse, and I love the Scouse accent.
Did they, particularly, I guess someone like Gerard, who's a captain, and vice captain would be Carragher, did they help you settle in?
Yeah, no, Stevie was there. I remember on the first day I had to go straight in Rafa's office, and he came in. He shook me hand and he said, "Whatever you need, I will be there for you." We shook hands, and he said, "Let's win as many trophies together." And Stevie was not the guy who was speaking too much, but every word he was speaking was, on. And I think he was a great captain, and I think he showed that during his career for Liverpool.
Yeah, undoubtedly one Liverpool, for some, Liverpool's greatest ever player. Yeah. Moving on a little bit, Roy Hodgson came into the picture. Why didn't it work out for him?
I don't know. I think Roy Hodgson is a great manager. He showed it at several clubs. I was surprised again that he's now managing
75.
Crystal Palace again. Yeah. So it says everything what football means to him. I think that every manager after Rafa Benitez would struggle to perform well, especially in the beginning. It takes some time to cope to Liverpool Football Club and to manage a team the way you want. And yeah, unfortunately it didn't work out, but I had a great relationship with him, and actually, yeah, I felt sorry for him because he's such a gentleman, a hard-working man. He was already at that stage a little bit older, but still a man with a lot of energy. And yeah, I felt horrible after he left because I think he deserved more.
But you got to work with Kenny Dalglish after that. In the League Cup final,
yeah,
I was there. I was in the stadium.
Yeah.
And I was watching, and it was a crazy match. Cardiff is Malaysian-owned, so that's why you were sent over as well. That must be a career highlight for you.
Yeah, because, like I said, unfortunately, in a long part of my career, every team I was playing for, I managed to play on the highest level. So, for example, with Feyenoord, we managed to be second. With Liverpool, we managed to be second in the Premier League. We lost an FA Cup final. We lost the Champions League final. So a lot of time I became second. Also with the Dutch national team, the World Cup final, we lost. So it was not really easy to become second that many times. But I think at that period you learn to never give up, especially at the club at Liverpool, and always keep going. And the moments where you feel losing to become second by losing finals or get second in the league, you learn from that to be a real winner. And I was so happy, although the Carling Cup is not the biggest trophy you can win with Liverpool, but I was so happy to leave Liverpool with a trophy, because that's what I've learned, that you have to win and to be focused on every next game you play, and that you have to try to win every game, and only winning is good enough. And yeah, I left the club as a winner, although of the Carling Cup. And after I left Liverpool, all the years at Fenerbahce, but also all the years at Feyenoord, I managed to win a trophy. So somehow I learned winning at Liverpool, although I lost some finals.